All right, so I want to do a trading recap of basically this whole week. Go over g- not go over the trades I took, but basically retrade, and having the hindsight bias, knowing kind of what happens. Not exactly to the T though, so this is gonna be interesting, and some lessons I learned as well. So just gonna get straight into it. I'm gonna try and refrain from going to the 4 hour because I know it like shows what happens in that whole 4 hours, so I don't want to go on that. I could do um, what's it called? FX replay, but I'd rather just do this since I have the backtesting feature anyways. So yeah, so on the 1 hour, right before market open around 6, 7. So 8 is when market open. So don't want to go there yet. What are we seeing? We're seeing price rally down, and we have this area up here where we might see price come back up to. But other than that, we have areas. Well, we have this area of supply. This is really the only area. We have liquidity above this area. But if we scale down, we see price come up and sweep all of this. Not sweep, grab, and just continue up. So we're going to see what price does. Oops, I know I'm not meaning to do that. So 5 minute, we see price come down, sweep this liquidity to for a buy. So I kind of want to look for sells here. Um, I want to see how price reacts to this area. But if we sweep this liquidity, I'll look for sells. But let's see how price reacts. So we tap into it. If we also see a decent rejection, 75% area. Looking for a little bit more confirmation. Yeah, I'm gonna enter for a sell here. Induce this area right here. Tapped into this area of supply and 75% zone. I'm gonna enter here. Stop loss above this zone and then TP probably just down here. London and Asian lows. I think that's too shabby. Okay, so we got stopped out. Price taps even deeper into this area. Um, I should have waited. I think I should have waited for a breaker structure. Okay, now we see a breaker structure. Now we wait for a pullback. I was too fast of an entry. Now we see a pullback. Let me scale down here. This kind of looks messy, but we've seen price reject off of this 50% area. I'm not sure if I want to see a deeper pullback to the 75% zone, but I think this is good enough. We saw a breaker structure. We see the pullback. I'll enter here. TP to the negative 61. Actually, negative 27% area. This time we waited for the breaker structure instead of just entering off of this rejection. We wait for a breaker structure, pullback, and that gives us our confirmation. So we get stopped out again. And just see price continue to just I don't even know. I want to see what I did on Monday. I don't think I traded this day. Man, I keep doing this. I keep just trading to trade and not trading for an A plus setup. This is my problem. I'm not taking this seriously enough. I feel like I just place those trades all willy nilly. All we see this. Let's enter now. I'm not waiting for an A plus setup. Like these setups were like, yeah, they were there, but we see price pushing up. We have upwards momentum. I don't know. The setup just didn't play out. We're gonna go to. We're gonna fast forward a bit, and I'm gonna just be patient, be way more patient, because if I expect to be anything of a decent trader, I just can't make those mistakes. All right, so we're still at the same area. And price has even induced this area even more. We have way more liquidity up here. And we scale out, we see price create a higher low here. So I just don't think we're gonna, unless we see price sweep this liquidity, we're not really looking to go down. See price happen. I don't know, I just don't like this. I'm not really looking for anything right now. We have this Fibonacci here. Tap into the 75% zone. Price is just like consolidate. I don't want to trade this. Now we see a break of structure. Now we see the sweep of liquidity. I fast forwarded too much, but I remember this day. This is where I should have entered. This is where the entry should have been. After seeing even this strong push down, you could have entered here. Just knowing that price probably isn't going to come all the way back, all the way up here, and then push down after the strong liquidity sweep. Could have entered anywhere here. TP realistically could have been, I don't even know. I have a lot of resting liquidity down here even, but that's a little too far. I'd probably just enter to down there. I remember we just see price flush all the way down, like keeps going down even to down here. And if you miss that entry, there's an entry here, I'm pretty sure. Price retraces, and then it slams down again. So unless I see my A plus setup play out, I'm not gonna be entering for anything at all. Easy to say that now while I'm back testing, but all right. Wow, we see price rally down a lot. As far as zone right now, I'll just clear the charts, because honestly, we just see price rally down. We don't really have any areas of interest, honestly. This is interesting. I don't see anything here. We have a bunch of liquidity up here, though. This is kind of the only area. But other than this, there's genuinely nothing. We just see price continue to rally down, but I don't see an entry. Unless I want to see a reaction off of this area. Oh, and we got that. But once we get here, we just continue consolidating. We do eventually see price push down off of this Fibonacci. I did want to see a liquidity sweep though. I guess after seeing price retrace strongly back, but I know that we could have seen this happen. We could have seen price push all the way up here and then come down and do the same exact thing. So I mean, I'd rather not change my strategy each time depending on how I'm feeling. If I don't see it happen, I'm not going to trade. So I didn't see it happen. I'm not going to trade this pretty interesting market structure, but unless we see that sweep anytime soon. Oh, we might see it now. I don't like that reaction. I don't like that either. Okay. See, I could enter this. But it's not a strong sweep. Like, this isn't a strong sweep at all. But usually when you see a sweep and it's strong, you see this. Tap and instant rejection. We just see price tap, consolidate, and push down a little bit, maybe creating some structure to the upside. After the strong bullish momentum, you know, I don't really trust it that much. But this is the setup I was looking for. I'd probably enter this area of supply down here. I would definitely size down a bunch on this trade. Like nothing, no crazy risk. It's a 1 to 2. It's not the most favorable, so I wouldn't have a lot risk on this trade whatsoever. Seeing price do a bunch of little crap. Okay, we eventually see price hit our TP. This wasn't a bad trade. I would not have been sized up on this at all, considering the risk to reward and considering how weak this reaction was. I had my TP basically just above this area. Could have had it up here as well. Would have been smarter to have it up there, but this wasn't bad at all. We saw our setup. We wanted to see a liquidity sweep. We saw that. However, we just didn't see a strong reaction. After you see this candlestick, after I saw this, I definitely wanted to see another one. You know, I want to see another close into the zone, and I'll enter for a deeper sell because I know that chances are price probably isn't going to get here and then instantly stop in reverse. It's probably going to get down here into a deeper zone or even continue structure. So considering we saw price do this, I'm not as confident that price will push down even more. I think we'll get here to this area where price can react off of and then push down, but nothing else besides that. And we do see price eventually come down to that area, so and continue down even lower. So do you see that happen? But let's wait until price goes into the next day. This is crazy. We're just continuing to push down, and okay, now we're seeing a rally back up, push down again, rally up, push down again, rally up, push down again, rally up. Let's wait. Oh my gosh. Okay, we don't see anything. We don't see anything. All right. So let's see what we're looking at. 4 hour again, pressure just pushing down, not really much to see there. 1 hour, we do have this zone. I mean this kind of zone where price can work within before price book structure and the highest point before price book structure here, lowest point before price pullback, and this is it. It's our zone we're looking to work within. So price can get all the way up here and still be bearish in the long term, but short term we are looking bullish because We are breaking structure to the upside. We haven't broken this high yet, so I'll also mark that because this is a pretty strong high that hasn't been broken. However, it hasn't broken structure either, so it's not really that strong of a high, you know? So we see price tap into this area of demand down here. Pretty good. And a Fibonacci if we marked it out, but yeah. So we do also have a bunch of liquidity up here. So if we see price tap into anywhere up here and reject, that would be pretty strong. And we have a bunch of low resistance liquidity to seek down here, so okay, we just instantly break through. I'd probably now be looking for a retest, like right here, and seeking probably Asian lows. That would probably be the highest probability setup in this. But yeah, so that would probably be the highest probability setup. Considering this setup got invalidated due to price breaking structure, if price didn't break structure, however, and didn't like push down strongly, then yeah, I'd be looking for this still. However, considering price broke structure strongly, and we saw this big rejection candle here, and price continues down off of this area, I'm probably not looking for price to get all the way up here or all the way up here or all the way up here anymore. We're probably going to get down here, sweep all this liquidity, and probably make a reaction off of that, and we'd see what happens. But I'd probably just be looking for a continuation. We see that right here. This probably would have been the best entry point that have had stop loss up there. A little bit of a wide stop loss, knowing that price can push down a little bit. This would probably be the best setup to enter in. Okay, we end up not seeing that play out. But why? Are we still gonna see this liquidity setup play out? Oh, wait, right? Was this Thursday? This was PPI, wasn't it? No, it wasn't PPI. 8:30. Was this PPI? I can't remember. This was PPI. If this was PPI, which I wouldn't have entered, I don't think. I did enter, but hindsight, I'm not entering on those days anymore. Knowing how price moves, knowing how fake outs happen and occur and whatnot. And my screen cut out. Hold on. 1 second. Okay, so we eventually don't see. Yeah, this was PPI, so I don't think I should have been trading this day. Just knowing that the way PPI moves, the inflation, how everyone's gonna be reacting, I shouldn't have traded. We see a decent setup get turned completely sideways. That's the stuff that's gonna happen. You see this sideways momentum. I shouldn't have traded this day. When it was Thursday, I shouldn't have traded. Today shouldn't have traded. I didn't know. I'm pretty sure we didn't have anything last week. Tuesday. I mean Friday. Yeah, we didn't have anything Friday. So let's go there. Man, this is difficult. Oh, okay. All right. Just keep going up. Yep. London starts soon. There we go. Continue. Should be right about now. Yeah. All right. Let's get out. So what do we see? We see price push up strongly. A lot of upward momentum, and we see price reject off of this area down here. I have this area of demand down here as well, and this Fibonacci. Here to here. Boom. It's 5-minute supply as well. Pretty sure I marked out the. Oh no, I didn't. But yeah, so we have this area down here we could look for price to get to. We're seeing price break structure right now though. If we see a pullback and then a strong push up, that'd be a pretty good entry. So I remembered I entered on this. This right here. No, down here I entered off of because I had what was it? This area of demand down here that broke structure, right? This broke structure. Price taps into it, rejects. I entered right here. Stop loss below the area. TP all the way up here to Asian highs. And we see price just slam down. It was so interesting. We see price slam down. So now I shouldn't have been looking for sells at all. I should be looking for price to get to the next area of interest, which is this area down here. What did I do? I entered for a sell off of this retracement, and price didn't pull back that much, and price pulled back even deeper. I didn't enter on a decent pullback. This pullback, now this is a better entry where you could be looking to ride the wave down to this area down here. So you could have entered in this. Price pulls back strongly, wicks strongly up, and then closes down. Could have entered here. Stop loss down here. Would it have been smart? No. But would it have worked out? Oh, no, it didn't. It tapped back into 75% zone and then just slams down. So it just wasn't worth the risk, just knowing that price could have, like, you couldn't have predicted this. This happened in 1 minute, right? So just trading that wouldn't have been smart. Looking for the next area of interest, which is down here, that would have been the smartest play to look for buys. Just waiting for price to tap into it. Price is inducing this level, then we tap into it. Creates all this liquidity for price to seek, giving us even more reason. Once price taps into that area right here, could have entered stop loss a little wider because you know that price might pull back. And TP up here, or even the start of New York, but either one of these works. And let's see what happens. We saw price pull back even deeper. Oh wow, that's crazy. So even after this liquidity sweep, we see price pull back even deeper. Honestly, after this, you could have re-entered. I don't even. We did this up though. Yeah, we did. Even after this, you could have re-entered off this strong wick and rejection. You would have gotten the same exact entry, and would have seen price hit TP eventually. This week, I need to focus mainly on patience, waiting for setups that will play out, because there are a lot of my setups that do play out if I'm patient enough to wait for the proper setup, because I don't wait for the proper setup a lot of times. As you saw from me even backtesting, knowing what happens, I still didn't wait for the right setup. All right, and it's pretty difficult to. It's pretty hard to trade. Trading is inherently a hard thing to do. Not a lot of people are good at it. And it all boils down to patience. All boils down to patience. All boils down to it. But yeah, I need to wait more. Wait for my setup. If I do not see my setup, I do not enter. And when I do see my setup, it gives me conviction to enter. And I'm not going to oversize, not going to over risk, because I waited 3 days looking at the markets, no setup. Now I see a setup. Let me over risk to make up for those past 3 days. None of that. It's the same setup, same risk, same everything, each and every trade. Each trade. And if I don't do that, then I'm never going to be a profitable trader. And profitability is never about a result. It's never about how much money you make. It's always about your mindset. And I've been learning more how much trading has to do with being a Christian, being a follower of Christ. It has so much to do with it, because the more so let's say with Christianity, you're trying to you don't want to keep living in a world of sin. I mean, in a life of sin. You don't want to keep living in a life of sin, continuously, habitually sinning. What do? Either you focus more, so you focus on trying to cut out sin, or you focus more on Christ. You don't try and focus more on cutting out sin. You don't keep on thinking about sin, keep on thinking about okay, I'm trying not to sin now. I'm trying. No, you focus more on Christ, and inevitably, by focusing more on Christ and coming closer to Him, you, as a result, you will sin less. Same with trading. The more you focus on making money, the less money you will make, because you will be so caught up in the idea of making money, you'll fantasize about it, that it just won't become a reality, because you're not focusing on the habits and behaviors you need to create to make the money. To make the money, which is a result, to sin less, which is a result, you need to focus on the behavior, the action, which is becoming a better trader, being patient, becoming a better Christian, being in your word, praying, cutting out things that cause you to sin, replacing your habits, right? These are things that will lead you to have the result of sinning less. But when your mindset is solely focused on sinning less, when your mindset is solely focused on making more money, you will never get it, because you are not focused on the thing that will cause it to happen. Right? It's like focusing on driving. It's like focusing on getting somewhere, and you're not focusing on the thing that will get you there. Right? The thing that will get you there is the thing you need to focus on, instead of focusing on the result. We are so caught up on trying to get the result, and we're never focused on the process. It's the process that leads to the result. The process is the most important thing, because without a process, there's no result. You'll never have a result without the process. And the process is becoming a better trader, is becoming a trader who can wait, becoming a trader who can look at the charts for 3 hours and not take a single trade and be okay with that. A trader who can look at the markets and not see what they want to see and not trade and be okay with that. A trader who could go a week, 2 weeks without trading and understanding that another day will come where they can trade. That's a good trader. A good trader doesn't make millions and trillions of dollars. A good trader waits. And of course, they can make that money, but a good trader also knows their limits. They know when enough is enough. And a lot of us don't know that. We don't know when enough is enough. And we just keep hungering and keep chasing after this money. And it's, at the end of the day, it's never really worth it, because it's not really about the money. It's becoming a better trader. It's becoming more patient, becoming a more disciplined disciple. Really. If trading is all about the money, you'll never feel fulfilled from it. You'll get the money. Yeah, no doubt about that. If trading is only about the money for you, yeah, you might get some money. You might. But you'll never feel fulfilled, because you will never have the process. You'll never know what it feels like to have a process built around discipline. And the same with Christianity. If you're just focused on trying to sin less, your life will become miserable, because you'll be solely focused on sinning less. That it'll become it'll become less of a reward. It'll become more of a prison you're living in. A prison where if you don't do this, then you're not a good trader. If you don't do this, then you're not a good Christian. If you don't, there's no such thing as the result dictating your identity. Like, the process dictates the identity. Anyone can make money in trading. That's not your identity. If you make money, that doesn't mean you're a profitable trader. Anyone can make money, man. And all profitable traders will make money, because it's a result. And when I say good, I don't mean like good in the sense of better than someone else. Good in the sense of you follow the rules. You stick to the plan. Of course, everyone's going to deviate. Everyone's going to have bad days. But for the most part, you stick to this plan. And when you do deviate, you go right back on track. Doesn't mean you follow it step by step to the nitty gritty details, to the um, term and conditions. You don't. Not everyone's gonna follow it to that deep extent, but when you follow it and you stick to it, and you don't go periods where you follow it, then periods where you just choose not to, where you just willfully deviate from it, you've been good. You're not perfect, but you've been good. You've been good. And even if you haven't been, there's always time to change, because the time is now. There's always time because you have now. I don't mean you have time as in you have a week, you have a month, a year. You have right now. That is your time. And if you don't make the most of it, then what are you doing? You know? You're relying on your future self instead of relying on your current self, which you can control. You can control the habits you create. You can control the mindset you adapt. Those are the things we can control, because we have control over these things. They're us, right? And with Christianity, you have control over the things you watch. You can choose to watch certain things. You can choose to go on certain apps. You could choose to go on certain websites. Because Paul says that everything is permissible, but not everything is good. You could do anything in life. You could do anything, but not everything is constructive. Not everything will bring you closer to God. Not everything will. So that does not mean you should be doing everything. That goes to mean you should not be doing everything. The Bible doesn't speak on every single thing that a man can do, but it talks about having discernment, knowing that you can do anything because you have anything in front of you. But you shouldn't do most things, because those things aren't constructive to your faith. And those things, when we're talking about trading, aren't constructive to your trading. Revenge trading, going on different symbols that you don't trade, those things aren't constructive to your trading. And when you do deviate and do go to those, then you are not doing anyone a service. You are not doing anyone a disservice except yourself. You're the only one getting a negative result from this. And it's hard to accept this fact, because it seems like you're trapped in a prison. But regardless, you're going to be. People like to think when they do what they want, then it's not a trap. It's not being trapped inside of something. Right? They find freedom in what they do, but there is freedom in everything. You will have the freedom in sin. You will have freedom to sin. And it won't feel like chains. Isn't it crazy how a lot of people see Christianity as chains, but they see their lives as free? When you're in something, it seems free. But when you're in Christianity, when you're in the goodness of and graciousness of God, it's not chains. It's not chains. Of course, you are bound to the guidelines of Christianity to stay within the faith, to continue fueling your faith, but by no means is it a prison, because you find freedom in the guidelines. You find freedom in the strictness. You find freedom in that. You know that it's for your own good. It's not that you can't do it because it's not permissible. Oh no, you can't do that. Nah, you don't have the choice to do that. You can do it, but it's just not for your own good. Because it won't build anything except tear you down and draw you farther from profitability, the mindset of profitability, and drive you farther from the action and mindset and behavior that you need to become a good Christian and a good steward. You need to adopt habits that build you closer to God. And as long as you have a heart on fire for it, you don't have to be perfect by any means. Everyone falls. And I'm not saying that for you to be good, you have to stick to it to every itty bitty detail and be the perfect person. No, not by any means. Everyone Everyone will fall and everyone will stumble, but it only matters about how you get up. If you get up and you are constantly on fire and you are constantly continuing to seek this, in my eyes, that's what makes a good Christian. That's what makes a good Christian, a good follower, someone who just doesn't give up, man. And a lot of people give up. And I feel like as a society, we've become kind of sensitized to calling things bad, you know, because it's inherent. It's obviously bad to just give up on something after things go bad. Because where's your faith in it? You know, you have no faith if you just give up. And good and bad are subjective. I mean, you could give the argument, but I'm just speaking my opinion. But yeah, for next week I'm gonna bring into the the trading week patience, man. Waiting for my setup, and if I don't see it, then I don't trade. That's what I'm bringing into next week. So that was my recap of the markets. It was a really hard trading week last week. Really hard trading week. Hopefully next week isn't as crazy. Monday we do have some stuff. Just, we have a lot of fundamentals actually, so you might see price move crazy, but hopefully we stick to our rules and have adopt a profitable mindset, because you can actually trader when they became profitable, but they can never give you an exact pinpointed date because profitability was across the whole journey. They can never give you an exact date, second, hour where they became profitable, because profitability was across the span of all their trading. It was a process. That's why you can't pinpoint it. You can never pinpoint profitability. It's never, oh, I gotta pay out. It's always the process. It's never about just a result, man. It's never. And if it is, then you'll never get anywhere. Because you'll be so caught up in it. You'll be so caught up. You can never focus on the process and the result at the same time. And when I say focus, I mean put your energy to it. You could think about, you can know the result. You can know what will come of this, but you shouldn't focus on it and strive just purely because of that, or just purely for that. So, I'm gonna be back tomorrow morning, and yeah, take the start.